There's so much I want to share in the next few minutes. And I want to start off with understanding what the word be means, just be. And everybody has a different explanation or a definition of be. But be really means be your true, and the key word today is authentic self. And what is your authentic self? Your authentic self is a spiritual being, a soul in a human body, having a human experience. And some of you may have heard this before. But it also says in being is being in alignment. Not only being in alignment with your family, friends, relatives, relationships, your life, and whatever your chosen profession is, but also being in alignment with your soul and oversoul, with your spiritual self. And so many things that we learn on the human level. We learn about how to create things. You're supposed to sit down and write down whatever you want to accomplish. And there's a lot to that, and that does work. Setting up maps, having all the reminders. Also, you get egotistical because if someone says something that's against your belief system, you may or may not attack them. You become arrogant. You become unsure. You become stressed. You become addicted to food, drugs, relationships, all kinds of different addictions. All types of things happen. And that is not a state of being. That is a state of existence. And what is happening is the existence around you is controlling and manipulating you. Therefore, there are expected kinds of relationships you're supposed to have. There are expected types of behaviors they're supposed to have. So these are the rules and the regulations that are set up by the human condition. Now, some of them are really very good. We have laws on the books that we don't steal, kill one another, create chaos, start fires, so on and so forth. Those are very good rules. But innately, you know, without a doubt what is right and wrong. The state of being says, take a look at your life. Number one, realizing you're spiritual. Well, what does spiritual really mean? Number one, you're here to experience everything that this human condition allows you to experience. You experience it either by observing it, sensing it, feeling it, or becoming part of it. That's number one. Being also says that you are in flow with your human life. Now that's kind of tricky. And it's tricky because everybody has an opinion what your human life should be, based upon your economic conditions, based upon your morality, based upon your religions, based upon your family, friends, education. All this enters into being in the human condition. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or perfect for you. However, the dictates of those around you is what you are creating in your life. So, for example, one of the things that I'll use me for an example, my parents said you had to finish high school. Well, that was a big deal because they were first-generation Americans, and they did finish high school. But that was a big deal. And then the next thing is you had to go to college because you needed an education, and we want you to have a better life than we had. And college was the key. So I went on through the bachelor's, master's, doctorates, and so on. And I did it by degree, and on in life. But I will tell you, when I was also growing up, my father said, you know what? The harder you work, the more successful you're going to be. Oh, I work hard, I'll be successful. Now it's working smarter, and you're more successful. So everything that we learned, I don't care what your age is now muting and changing. So whatever your truth was at age 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever you are, has changed to your current age. And that's good because it means you are progressing and changing in your life. And that's what life is all about, experience everything that is around you. But sooner or later, and unfortunately, there are two ages in which people begin to look at spirituality, and I'll tell you why I said unfortunately. The first is around the age of 35, and the next is around the age of 50. 35, some souls become awakened, and they start their spiritual path. I'm talking the overall majority, not everyone. And I look at my path, and I really became serious about it around the age of 35. And then I noticed a lot of souls I work with around the age of 50. And I looked at why 35, why 50, why a younger age. Well, at a younger age, some souls are really aware of their mission and goal, especially those being born now. Before there were maybe 3 to 5%, and now there's more like 20 or 25%, maybe a little less, a little more. And then when they reach the age of about 35, those who understand their mission and goal and realize they have to perfect it and have more clarity in it, they start their spiritual path seriously. And then there are others around the age of 50, give or take a few years, that have achieved a lot in life. They're satisfied with it. Now they want to understand their spiritual path. So those are the basic ages in which most souls begin their spiritual path. But in truth, and the essence of being is to realize that you have a mission and goal. And your mission and goal can involve the human condition, which is family, friends, relatives, children, but also on the spiritual plane. All of us have at least 2 mission and goals, and even more. What limits us ourselves is we are not in a state of being. That means that we are allowing outside influences to control and manipulate us. For example, you have to behave a certain way, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that, or you rebel. But what happens in a state of being as you become more spiritual, you realize that you're here for the experience, that you are responsible for everything that occurs in your life, and even more so, you are living your karmic experiences so that you won't have to come back to do it again, but you also are empowering others, and by example, you're changing others to become more loving and caring. And we have forgotten, although we all know, that this planet was supposed to be the Garden of Eden, a place of rest and joy and love and relaxation and harmony. And we allowed ETs and others to muck it up. And if we look around what's going on now, I shouldn't say nobody, many souls are not in a state of being, either because they're afraid of being ostracized, judged, or put down, or they're being persuaded or snowed into having a certain belief system. And that's not being in a state of being, so to speak, or true to ourselves. That's complying with the rules and regulations of others, which are trying to control and manipulate us for a certain specific outcome. Everything we do has a payoff. Everything. You eat too much, you gain weight. You have too many sweets, you may come down with diabetes. If you're angry and hateful, you're going to have high blood pressure, ulcers, cancer, whatever. You bring love and joy, you bring love and joy in your life. But the state of being says having no expectations. And the reason you don't have expectations is because whatever your expectations are, 99% of the time, you are never satisfied. You always want a little more, a little more, a little more. But a state of being says everything that occurs in your life, you are enjoying, it's positive, and it's muting or changing to a greater degree. You are changing, like I said, your belief systems and the person you were at 10 or 15 years old and not the person you are now. So I'd like to remind all of you that being in a state of being is to let life flow with you, but also to concentrate with minimal effort. And that is focus whatever you desire to create in your life. Just focus on it. Don't put a lot of energy on it, and then just let it go. It's kind of like saying for myself, well, I'd like a parking spot in front of Macy's. And I get in the car, and there's traffic. I turn on the radio. Whoop, there's a parking spot in front of Macy's. All I did was concentrate on it, very little effort, but express at a deep, authentic level that I desired a parking space in front of Macy's, and I let it go. The reason was there because for that moment, I concentrated, I said what I desired, and then I let it go. You know that expression, let go and let God. Many of us will sit there and concentrate or put effort into what we're doing, mostly because it's an emergency and a crisis and we're in deep doo-doo, rather than being prepared and setting up in a positive way what we have or desire to have. And then we begin to doubt, and then we begin to block, and then we become unsure, and then we become, is it the right thing? Did I ask for the right thing? Did I say it the right way, or didn't I say it the right way? Maybe I better add this word. Maybe I should delete this word. All the things that we do. Look, your higher self and soul knows exactly when you say you want the perfect parking spot for you in front of Macy's. And it could be right by the steps, or maybe 4 cars away from the steps. It's still in front of Macy's, but it's perfect for where you are. I remember in my book launch, we were all driving, and we were going there, and there was a part of a curb that was jutting out, and my front tire hit the curb, and I backed off it, and it went around it, and I felt kind of foolish. And about 2 minutes later, there was a huge automobile accident. And that 5 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever it took me to straighten out my car, saved my guests and myself from being in a horrendous accident. In fact, it was a horrendous accident. Some people got out of the car and ran. And we were able to drive around it and miss out on it. And that's when I realized again and again and again that true inner source guidance was protecting not only me but my guests. So in a state of being, just realize that everything occurs in your life for a reason. Sometimes we don't have to know the reason because it will reveal itself later, like 2 or 3 minutes later it revealed itself, or maybe in a day or two. But I would like to remind all of you, just to be, let life flow, because your higher self, your soul, oversoul, knows exactly what is perfect for you and wants you to have love and joy and happiness in your life. Stop controlling and manipulating everything. Ask each night before you go to sleep, looking in the mirror and saying your first name. For me, I go, Michael, I am unlimited. Michael, I am unlimited. Michael, I am unlimited. And that's all you need to do every night, and your life changes. And in the morning, just ask to do your mission and goal for the day. Ask that your day be joyous and happy, or just mission and goal with love and joy. Or you can be specific about it. Whatever feels right. And your day will flow perfectly. And everything will be at hand. And you will have perfect synchronicity in your life. Because you are an aspect of the true source, God the true source. And if you understand without any equivocation that God the true source is unconditionally loving and allowing and non-judgmental, of which that is your pure essence, and you recognize that, then whatever you believe in, whatever you be about, that's what will create in your life. So if you want to be angry, that's what you're going to get. If you want to be sick, that's what you're going to get. If you want to be lost, that's what you're going to get. If you want to be broke or poor, that's what you're going to get. If you want to be joyous and happy, that's what you're going to get. That's what the state of being is all about. And that is your option in life.